My name is Nguyen, and you can call me Elise as my English name.
Very good. We'll now move to part one. First question. What job would you like to have 10 years from now?
So, being a goal establishing an interest in service industry, in particular tourism industry, in a 10-year scenario, I dreamed of holding a position of sales manager in a world-class hotel chain, in which Hilton is currently my wildest dream.
Okay, very good. Question two. How useful will English be for your future?
Well, as English is a franco lingua, meaning it is a second language of the world, so it is obvious that it acts as a means of communication that enhances social connectedness. However, personally, I think English is even more than that. It is actually a tool that will probably secure a well-paid job for anyone for a bright future.
Very good. Question three. How do you think your life will change in the future?
In this technology-driven era where cutting-edge artificial intelligence is seemingly taking dominance over people's lives, I strongly believe that my whole future will probably be positively and mostly influenced by robotic takeovers.
Very good. Okay. We will now move to part two. Okay. This is the question. You may review it for 1 minute, and you can take notes with this pen. Okay, 1 minute is up. You have 2 minutes. You may begin.
So, in my talk, I'm going to tell you about a book, a romantic novel written by one of the most prominent figure of Vietnam in those 1990s, which is Nguyễn Nhật Ánh. And the book I'm going to be interpreting on is Dreamy Eyes. So this Dreamy Eyes movie, a book, is actually converted into a movie that is currently sweeping the whole nation of Vietnam, where it revolves around the love story between two country boy and girl. How one can be possessed and driven by love, and such a pure and simple story really provoked my inner soul. And reading this book, it actually kept me pondering about the beauty of sacrifice and the maternal emotions between the characters together, and it also signifies that, a very deep yet thoughtful way of how the poetics actually build the story around it, and then to get the readers to actually follow the line to it and be completely captured by it is what really impressed me the most. And this book, in fact, has left me a lot of deep impressions. Watching the movie solely, I was moved to tears, but then I just got delved into how it actually transferred from those simple and rustic letters into such a beautiful movie has been the biggest motivation for me to find about this book. And ineluctably, I was touched by those simple yet glorious lines and how he established his sentence structurings and how those simple, letters and pages can actually evoke one's emotions deeply. And once again, I have to say it is a very worth reading book, despite the fact that I'm not a bookworm at all. But it is definitely one of my biggest recommendations for those people who are in desperate of love and a lack of emotions. That's all.
Very good. We'll now move to part 3. First question. What are the most popular types of children's books in your country?
Well, technically, children don't read books. However, I assume, and from my own perspective, then I assume children will probably fond of those fairy tales and fantasy books, since they are such innocent and naive creatures who have yet got exposed to the real world. Therefore, they tend to be captured and mesmerized by those visuals and simple pictures of heroes and robots and even fairies. And I believe those books does not only consist of boring, tedious letters, but also accompanied by those vivid and colorful images where children may find themselves an interest. And books for children, I believe, is not always about knowledge, cramming. This is about kicking off that creativity and imagination that is hidden deeply inside every child.
Very good. Question 2. What are the benefits of parents reading books to their children?
This is actually a very familiar question to me, since by watching those movies such as fairy tales, I also come across those images of parents reading books to their children, and I actually wondered, what is this actually for, and what is the purpose or motivation behind such actions? Then as I grow up and trying to do some research myself, and realize that this kind of activities does not help with knowledge upgradation, but it also helps to enhance that family bonds, which are otherwise known as family togetherness, I believe. Since parents nowadays tend to be digging themselves too much in work and all the hustle and bustle of the city, that sometimes they forgot the responsibility of being a proper parent. Therefore, by reading books to children at night before them going to sleep is actually a great way of securing that sense of comfort and sense of security among those children, since they are easily to go to sleep when they're beside their most beloved and credible ones.
Very good. Last question. Should parents always let children choose the books they read?
Since I was a little girl, my parents were always opting for the most suitable books for my own sake of development. Therefore, they tend to choose books such as, and it was not something too serious about philosophy or science, but it's all about small stories that will contribute to my well-being and my well-being development and even my interpersonal skills. And honestly, I did not have a chance to choose a book for my own. For my own preference would be those fairy tales, as I mentioned, since they were so childish and simple in the most possible way. Therefore, I just find myself deeply in love with it. However, again, I was not given that chance to. I believe that parents should be the one to directly influence one's children by choosing the books for themselves. However, moderation is key, in fact. Sometimes we just have to got our own freedom to opt for what we choose, to opt for what we really fond of, and it's just a way of establishing that sense of independence and freedom, I have to say.
Very good. That concludes our speaking test. Thank you.